Hello, welcome to the series about Rugby League betting review. This time for the two matches today on Sky. We've got Leigh against Wakefield in the Super 8 qualifiers, which have the middle 8. We've also got Castleford's trip to Catalan in the Super 8, which is come straight after it. A great day, 4 hours of live Rugby League, tremendous. Just lying in set all day should be a good day. Never mind about the weather. Now, first of all, Wakefield go to Leigh and they conceded 6 points on the handicap, and it's easy to see why. I mean, okay, that last week the win against Bradford was the first time Wakefield have won in 6 games, but obviously, this time that they've signed new players, they look a lot stronger now. They seem to have been preparing for this stage of the season for quite a while now, and obviously Leigh's confidence looks a little bit shot last week at Salford. They've had a really hard start to these qualifiers. They did really well first half against Hull, but they let a big lead slip. And obviously last week they went to Salford and got heavily beaten. It didn't look too good, to be fair, that game. I think there's looked a bit downbeat Leigh after that. But you hope a good week in training, they'll pick themselves back up. Got a 6 point start for this one, like we say, and 13-8 Court to win the game. Now I must admit, 13-8 Leigh or 1-2 Wakefield, I'm not really confident about either side on that. But I think Leigh could possibly stay within the 6 points on the handicap. I think this could be quite close. I think there'll be lots of points. And probably the best value though is to look at Wakefield to win the game and Leigh to score 20 plus points. That's 4-1. I do think there'll be points in this, and I think last week even the big win over Bradford, Bradford still scored 18 points against Wakefield, and Leigh went over for tries against Salford, and they scored plenty of points on Hull the week before. I think both teams look pretty weak in the defensive side of the game, so you do think that both teams will manage to get over 20. I see if you fancy Leigh to win and Wakefield to score 20 points plus, looking at about 7-1, but I just think Wakefield might just have to know how to get over the line. They've got a lot of experience in the ranks now. That's 4-1. Now obviously you can boost the 1-2 to Wakefield to about even money on the half time, full time, but I'm not so sure myself, I must admit. I think the league could change hands in this quite a few times. It might be within about 6-7-1 for Leigh to be winning at half time and Wakefield to win at full time. That's basically what happened in the Hull KR game a couple of weeks ago. That's not bad value at all, to be fair. I mean, Leigh half time, full time, 16-5 again. You just wonder if they're going to lead at half time, and that doesn't really appeal to me. I think this could be another tough week for Leigh. They just got to keep their heads together. They play the championship sides later on in these qualifiers, and obviously they win them games, that'll get them in the £1 million game. If they win tomorrow, they've got a real chance to finish. Catching maybe Salford for third, but you do think now it's looking like they're probably looking like these two that'll take part in the £1 million game, and obviously the team that finishes higher in the league will be at home in that. So this is a really big game for both sides. Now looking at try scorers, you've got, for me, the fullback for Leigh scores a lot of tries. He comes in the line really well. He always links well with Braley. I think they scored a brilliant try against Hull KR coming up from Braley kick under the sticks. That's McAnally about 14-1. And another halfback, Jacob Miller for Wakefield. He seems to have had a little bit of new lease of life since this process started. Now he's 12-1, so McAnally at 14s and Miller at 12s. That's probably them two won't be far away. Good, decent odds. You don't have to put too much on. So they're looking somewhere around there. But like I said, the main bet, they're really hard games to predict these. You don't want to be doing your one of games like this. So just a few quid just to win yourself a few quid. A couple of cans, enjoy the game. Like I said, I think Wakefield to win the game, but Leigh to score 20 plus points at about 4-1. That's where I'd go on this one. Now straight after that you've got the Castleford trip to Catalan. Now Catalan have been very disappointing this season, even at home. In some of the games they've won, they've not won by very many. Like they're normally very strong at home. I mean, they lost to Huddersfield a few weeks ago. Okay, they beat Saints last time out, but I mean Saints seems to be really struggling at the moment. They've lost the last 3 now. But Catalan, that was the only game in 6 that Catalan had managed to win. They lost at home to Huddersfield. Now Castleford go over there and get a 6 point start, but also 6-4 to win the game with the French side about 8-15. Now again, neither side really appeals to me on that. I mean, if you fancy Catalan, you can get even money half time, full time. But I think they only just managed to beat Castleford in the league. That was right early in the season. Obviously, the heat could play a big factor in this. It normally does in the south of France, but. I think Castleford can well stay inside 6 point handicap that they've been given. They're doing really well this season. Like I say, I mean they've won 4 of the last 6 now. They've really hit a bit of form, and like I said, they'll go joint fourth with Saints. Joint third rather with Saints and Huddersfield if they can win this. It's wide open for them this season now. I mean it's a hard roster coming up for Castleford, to be fair. They're going to finish in the top 4. They've only got 3 home games in the Super 8 as it is, and they've only had 2 of them. So of the next 5 games, 4 of them are going to be away from the jungle. But But I mean, hats off to Darryl Powell's probably the coach of the year again for me. Unbelievable the way he gets the best out of his players. And Catalan, they're just again very, very disappointing this season for me. Carney, I mean, it's basically been a waste of a big salary cap. He just hasn't played enough. I mean, okay, when he gets injured, he probably can't help that, but it just doesn't seem to be much desire to get out on the field and play for the big name signings at the Dragons. And they have been really disappointing. But so I think maybe in this one, I think Castleford getting a 6 point start could be a way. Could be good look. They could win the game at 6-4, but I think I'd be safe with taking the start. Now, first tries, I would just keep it simple. Looking at the Beast, Carney scored first try last week. We tipped him. He's 7-1 again. They like to get the ball out wide, and Catalan are prone to conceding tries out wide. And for me, Escarret 8-1 again. We keep saying it. He's going to land for us sooner or later. He's got to. He's getting tries, but just not the first one. So I would say Escarret 8-1 and Carney on the wing. Justin Carney, the Beast, at 7-1 for Castleford. But like I said, I just think Castleford maybe on the handicap in this one. The Catalan season's over. Obviously, they'll still want to win the game for the fans, but it's all to play for the Tigers here. It really is. So yeah, I do think they can stay inside the handicap. They've had some decent results away from home, Castleford, this season. But anyway, there's the two games, and we'll be back next week. See you later.